things.
Yeah. And we had so many of them like that, good things from the past. We hope we'll have more of them these days. Now, at 60, some Nigerians are saying, what are we celebrating? This is a big question. Others say, no, we have a lot to celebrate. Think of it. But just listen to what people said when we met them on the streets before we come back to you to tell us whether you think we have a reason to celebrate. And we'll also be asking you to look back. At least, let's count 1, 2, 3 good things we have done or that has happened to us as a nation since independence, because I believe it's not all bad anyway. So we'll be talking about that too. And then the Independence Award to the past leaders, you are going to do that today. You are going to tell us who the best leader in Nigeria has been so far, starting from independence. You're going to vote and tell us my best leader so far in this country, talking about president now, is this person. We want you to give that award of independence to that leader today, living or dead. Whether the person is dead, let it be posthumous. If the person is still living, you will give that award by the number of those who vote. Okay? That's part of our special today. And let's listen now to what people say about what we are celebrating today.
We are moving backward.
Why?
Look at the situation of the country now. Look at the price of the fuel, the price of the electricity. Everything has gone from good to bad. So we are not moving forward. I don't believe we have a leader in this country. We don't have leaders. Because if you have good electricity in the country, most of the companies that fold up, they will come back to life. You understand? And I will make sure that I provide food facility for everybody.
At 60, we are not crawling. We are not even doing anything at all. Things are not better off. We are suffering. Especially at this point in time, COVID-19. When people are dying, when economy is down, when you go to other countries, you see their governments helping citizens. You see their governments alleviating poverty. You see things are being waived, like the housing, the rents, it's electricity. But here in Nigeria, we are increasing tariff. Here in Nigeria, what is it called? The fuel price is increased. Is this a country that wants to celebrate 60? That knew nothing about, economic growth? The country is nothing to write off. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not happy. I blame myself being in Nigeria. I don't blame myself anyway because I didn't create myself. But being in Nigeria is a mistake. It's a mistake. This country has failed us. APC has failed us. Until they come to the aid of the masses, we are suffering in this country. Everybody. They have caused everything, every economy of this country it has gone down the drain. And yet, they have nothing. No, they have nothing to do about it. They cannot come to our aid. They cannot assist us. Then why are they there? If they cannot do anything, they should quit. They should leave. Please.
Well, to my mind, we are progressing. Because you see, most of the time when you talk about this progress, you are always comparing us with those that have been in governance for quite some time before us. If you want to begin to leverage us with the United States of America, for example, they have been in a democracy for God knows how long. And their independence is about almost 400 years, if not above 300 years ahead. So, to my mind, we are making some progress. It might not be that elaborate or that significant, but we are making progress because there is no way we can do, let's look inward and see what is our problem. We have problems, but we can solve them. Okay. Most of the problems we're having are if you say we have bad leaders, because that is always the question. We don't have good leaders. But leadership comes from the followership too. Since that independence, Ghanaians has never been the president of Nigeria. Nigerians has always been the president of Nigeria, which means they get the president from us, change our own attitude as a people. Okay. Nigeria will move forward.
No, me looking at things, it's just like even before independence, things we are better than now that we are even 60 years old.
Nigeria at 60 is something else. Right now, I don't believe that somebody at 60 will still be where we are. We should have moved forward, we should have advanced, but Nigeria is still like a baby growing up. Nigeria is not independent at 60. We are not moving forward. On my take, we are stagnant. We are not moving forward. 60-year-old adults is supposed to have raised something in life. You cannot be where we are today in Nigeria and expect that we are 60. Nobody would even believe that this country is 60. Maybe you are like 10 or something.
Relatively, I think if we compare ourselves with some other countries that are almost at the same place we were in 1960, like this country that came to take palm oil in Nigeria, we are still backward. They are now producing. They take the seedling from Nigeria and now they are producing. But we are still importing. When you look at petroleum, we have been able to get crude oil for a long time. Look at the state of our refinery. We shouldn't be at this stage. We should be exporting finished products, PMS, kerosene, and the like. But we are importing because it seems that some people sabotaging the effort of the government, whereby the refinery remain comatose. It's not working.
We are not moving forward, we are moving backward. See what is happening in Nigeria today. There is no security. Every here and there, killing, kidnapping, and so. What is our joy? We should first of all settle that. Our government is not pleasing us at all. I'm telling you, not pleasing us at all. Hunger all around. No work, nothing whatsoever. Before you can eat 3 square meals a day, you will do like this.
I see me them born for 60 years ago. In life don't better, it don't go, don't become grandmother and father. Nigeria will become 60 years. Wait till we achieve. My children finish school, no job. To pay school fees now, now they don't put tariff for NEPA. To pay my NEPA bill, now another entirely. Sufferness upon sufferness, and Nigeria be 60 years. Wait I go take enjoy. I don't over 50 years. I never dey enjoy Nigeria. Now them way they for up. Now then they enjoy. Council Hausa, Igbo Hausa. Now them way they up. Now then they enjoy Nigeria.
Joining us now is Dipo Olayokun, a veteran journalist, also a politician and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to our program, sir. Nice to see you again.
Nigerians, happy independence anniversary.
Yes, we're happy to celebrate, but from what you heard there, it's like many people are not happy. There's a lot of frustration. Do you think it's justified? Nnnana? Yes.
Yes, of course. Because what we are celebrating today is 60 years of Nigeria as an independent nation, and I would like the word Nigeria.
Yeah.
So if there's no Nigeria, there can't be Nigeria at 60.
Okay.
Probably if you step back and look into our history, where we are coming from, the way we start from the wild west of the early 60s, you know the carnage that happened there. I was a small boy. I saw it. It didn't make any meaning to me. It was much later, where you go on the street, Ijamakadu in Abeokuta, Ogun State, and you hear that the house about 4 houses away from you was up in flames because some people have thrown ordinary egg into it and then the thing will catch fire. After that, we went into the military coup, and that eventually resulted in the Civil War. You know how many people died. And after that, we had the June 12 crisis. Those who are still nursing the scar are still there. While some people paid the supreme price. And we have had a lot of ups and downs. That at a point you would think Nigeria's ship was going to wreck. But here we are today.
Still in existence.
Yes, though we have a lot of fractures, we have a lot of cracks, but Nigeria is still standing at 60. It's something to celebrate.
Okay. Nnnana, do you agree with that?
Oh, to a very large extent, yes. Except that perhaps I may want to differ in terms of use of language. I would rather prefer to say that we mark the 60th anniversary of Nigeria as an independent nation.
Okay.
I am not too sure we have all the reasons to roll our drums and begin to celebrate. Not particularly sure. Like Dipo said, I was a little boy when all of this happened. You know, I remember when I began primary school, 1964. It was a thing of joy, you know, when we went for independence. You know, the independence parade and all of that. It didn't really translate to much as a little kid, but to me it was like another Christmas day, you know, and we took it from that standpoint. But if you look at the journey, the checkered journey of the country, Nigeria, up until now, rather than feel the way you should feel, rather than feel happy about it, rather than rejoice, rather than, you know, raise glasses and say cheers, you seem to bow your head in some measure of shame. Bottom line is that there is still a nation called Nigeria. Bottom line also is that we are all alive and to a large extent not completely drowned. You know, so those are the things, those are the aspects. I am always told by St. Francis of St. Ignatius of Loyola that always try to find out a positive part of a very bad situation. So it's on that basis that we begin to try to find out those things that are those things we can pick out as good in the country. The things that created the first coup he talked about, the Wild Wild West and all of that, the situation that brought all of those to play are still with us today. Even gone worse than what it was in those days. We'll take it.
And if that is the case, then we are not making much progress because it means we are not learning from the past. If we had such incidences in the past, I think the effort today will be to correct them and make progress. But if we still have more of those things that, you know, brought or caused rift in those days, today more in number, then would you call that progress?
Yes, progress, because we're supposed to learn from experience. You see, much as we pay glowing tribute to our founding fathers, as we call them, the Obafemi Awolowo's, the Nnamdi Azikiwe, I underline Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Adamu Tafawa Balewa, Abubakar Salewa, and stuff like that. You see, unfortunately, immediately after the independence, you know, it was a serious war. And many of us, we read it in the books because we were not born then, during the struggle for the independence. You see, unfortunately, by the time they got this independence, the individual leaders decided to retire into their enclave to dig in and started throwing up the ethnic card, except Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, who was operating at the federal, at the level of Nigeria. And even at that, he killed a lot of his people. So unfortunately, that was where the wound or the scar of the present day issue started from. Yes, they gave us independence. As individual premier of their region, they performed wonderfully well because they were committed leaders. They were a product of struggle of independence, struggle in the hands of the colonial masters. You saw what many of them experienced, that even some of them were jailed, some people went into exile. So by the time they came out, they have no excuse not to perform wonderfully well.
Yeah.
Because if they have failed to perform, their followers will have been asking, then why did you take us off the hand of the whites?
Yeah.
And some people are asking today. that perhaps if we have remained in the hands of the whites, maybe Nigeria would have been better than today. So those people have no excuse not to perform. So their face disappeared. Unfortunately, at the time they disappeared while the military were in power. So when the military left office, the people that took over, who are also product of a struggle, if you know what it cost a lot of Nigerians, some of us, we were not left out to win what we call democracy in 1999. One would have expected that toughness would have prepared them for governance. That, okay, how do we justify that, okay, the era of military was something that shouldn't pray for? Just like our leaders who emerged after independence was trying to justify their coming into existence. That's why they gave us good governance.
Yeah.
You will still see their marks. Is it the Cocoa House, the first television, all these things by Bafemi Awolowo? You go to the east, you see it there. I was in the north, I was able to tour the north between 2017 and 2019 during the electioneering. And I still see a lot of Northerners still remembering with nostalgia the era of the premier of Northern Region. That, oh, it was better than this. So, one expected that when the people that took over in 1999, who were also products of struggle, many of them were jailed.
Yeah.
Many of them lost their lives, some lost their lives. Some people paid the supreme price. But unfortunately, what we witnessed when they came on board was not what we expected. This is because while the military were in power, they were also together, either as commissioner or as minister. So when they came on board, they saw their reign as a continuation of the military that we were complaining about. And that was why they couldn't make the difference. And that's why Nigerians are now saying, since 1999, yes, there was democracy between 1979 and 83, but the one where was democracy between 1990 and 1992, that's Babangida's ill-fated democracy. But since 1999 till now, why have we not secured or recorded much difference? This is because those people who took over were comrades in arms with the military when they were in power. So we have a democracy, but somehow looking at the background are the military boys. Because you were my commissioner when I was the governor, so you must satisfy my yearnings. Or you are a minister when I was the head of state. So that is exactly what is happening today. Let me just make a reference to what my colleague just said. Interestingly, I entered primary school in 1964. And we're always, yes, interestingly. And we're always looking forward to October 1st of that year. Why? Because we'll be given a flag.
Okay.
And then a plastic cup with the flag of Nigeria. So to us then, we didn't know what it meant, but it was a thing we're always looking forward to. And where is that connection now? It's not there. Where is the connect? An average Nigerian youth, to him, October 1 is just like every other day. Yeah. And that is the most important thing we should also talk about. The flag and national anthem.
Because
it make any meaning
to us, you see people at parks, various places in the US, flying the US flag or Britain, you know, on a picnic, on holiday, even, you know, use it to sew their outfit, attach it to the outfit somewhere. That is not happening in Nigeria. Apart from a few vehicles where I've seen the Nigerian flag, you know, hanging on the dashboard or something, you don't see Nigerians boldly or proudly flying the flag outside the ceremonies. Like even at the national, I wish we saw the national parade today, if we have the flags flying and people holding the flags. But let's move on because of time. You at home, we want you to join us in this discussion. It's not a day of lamentation, so to speak, but tell us, can you look back to 1960 or wherever you can and see if you can remember one good thing that has happened to Nigeria? And if you can also pick out one leader, at least, who you will class as the best Nigeria has had so far. So the lines will be open now. See if you can recall one thing that you think has happened to Nigeria that is good, as we celebrate 60. If we end up not having one, then it means we've not done anything at all. One good thing that has happened to Nigeria and who your best leader so far is, talking about presidents or heads of state. Start from 1960, where you know Nnamdi Azikiwe, Balewas, and so on and so forth, down to today. Who is your best leader in Nigeria? And if you call and you tell us, this is my best leader, tell us why you have chosen that person as the best leader. And try and also add one good thing, if you can remember, that has happened to Nigeria. Okay, Nnnana, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to perhaps buttress what you just said.
Okay.
You see, my take really is that we've never had a country known as Nigeria. None of our leaders, I underline it, has been a Nigerian. There was this famous statement by one of our past leaders that I am first a Yoruba man. I am first a Yoruba man before becoming a Nigerian. So the implication of that, is that our leaders pre and post-independence have either been Hausas, Yorubas, Igbos, Bibios, or whatever. None has been a Nigerian. And that really is the mindset. That's the mindset of everybody inside here. The first thing we ask, if the process of leadership recruitment throws up anybody, the first thing we ask, where is he from? Yeah. Where is he from? What really I mean is that there has hardly been that Nigerian that is a Nigerian, first and foremost. That has been the bane. That's exactly what led to what he referred to as the wild, wild west of the. You see, parties were also, right from time, even up to today, parties had ethnic coloration.
Yes. Yeah.
And so when somebody who was expected to be of the action group found himself to be part of the MCC, what it meant is that he was a persona non grata in his own region. Yeah. And so there was the need to, however we go about it, we must not allow this happen. And it happened in all the places, including in the East. You remember the great Nnamdi Azikiwe with that famous statement from him, in East I come from, thence I go. When he was chased out of Ibadan, he was supposed to be the premier. He was chased out there. He went back. And going to the East, Ejo Eta was already the prime minister. Sorry, the premier of the Eastern region. He chased them out from government house in Enugu, took over there before he came back to the federal. And that singular act also created new form of nationalism within the minorities in the East and all of that. And so everybody first and foremost begins to see himself as either Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, and so on. And it happens even on the sharing table. When they go together, when everybody assembles at the table, you are looking at what is it that is coming to me. What is it that is going to the north? Even the youths and perhaps the other persons on the street that actually benefit absolutely nothing from these politicians. They are not bothered. They are not bothered that whatever, that somebody corners what belongs to Nigeria. What bothers them is he actually from my place? If he's from my place, if he's from my tribe, I corners it all fine and good. Problem. But if he's not from my tribe and he does that, pull down this, and all of that. That has been our pain, my brother.
And it remains a problem today because I see the cry out in appointments, for example, to key posts in this country. People are currently crying out about that. People coming from one part of the country more than other parts of the country. So that thing that started in the 60s is still here with us.
Yes.
How do we overcome that?
To even further expand what Nnnana just said. You see, the irony is that the elites, either at the religious level, political, or other levels, they are so united. So united. At the sharing table he mentioned, nobody talks about Tibu Hausa Yoruba there. No. They talk about their interest.
Because there's a sharing formula already worked out.
But interestingly, when one of them is being shortchanged,
yes,
he now looked back to his people and said, you are being marginalized. not himself, because he's been changed. But if the sharing formula is acceptable, everybody is laughing, he forget about Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. And unfortunately, they have maneuvered or manipulated the mindset of the followers to the extent that when the guy has a quarrel with his people at that social level, and he turns back and say, we have been marginalized, the people that have never been part of the sharing formula chorused it, and they go to the town with it. And when this matter is solved again, he doesn't remember them. He faces the class where he belongs. That is why we need programs like this to enlighten the followership that we should not be deceived by the noise from that class. They are one and the same. If they have any issue, they quarrel, and then their leaders call them together and they settle the matter. Not minding, for example, let us look at the last dispensation under Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. The key positions in that government were given to our brothers from the southeast. But did they make any impact in this geopolitical zone? Rather, individually, they became super rich up to today. That is why, to some of us, maybe because we grew up in the tradition of Babafemi Awolowo, who are tuned the mind of the Westerners to forget about what is happening there. Let us look at what is happening at our region. So we are not usually bothered about appointments and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the political class have been able to create a common front. That's why when they're talking about unity in diversity, the unity they're talking about is at their level. Whereas it is that diversity that they are preaching to their followers. And that is why, like you said, an average Nigerian looks at what he was able to quote about Abraham Adesanya, that I am first and foremost a Yoruba man. With that mindset, do you think Nigeria has a chance? The answer is no.
No.
Because everybody will be looking at it, I am Igbo,
yes,
I am Yoruba, I am Hausa. And that is why we have been unable to forge that unity that we need as a country and not as a nation. And
currently, we're beginning to see agitations, on the increase. Biafra has been re-echoed, for some time now. IPOB is championing that. Now we're hearing of Oduduwa. Do you see more of such agitations coming up, threatening? Because the president talked about unity today in his broadcast, but what is on ground is not encouraging that unity. Do you see more of such things coming up?
Yeah, Ambrose. I mean, it's good we are driving on this lane now. Who was it that sang a song that said you hardly can talk about unity without justice. You can't talk about unity without equity. You can't talk about unity without equal rights. Do you know what? Yeah.
Intertouch, okay.
Yes. Do you know what? Always look at the person mouthing, screaming unity of Nigeria. The unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. The unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. We must be united. That is what we should be preaching. I have had the privilege of visiting Ikigali Genocide Center. And as you step in there, as you get into the place, there is a kind of an auditorium where they play films and give you an idea of how it all started. The genocide started with ethnic rhetorics. You are a cockroach, you are a Hutu, you are a Tutsi, and all of that. Calling names, name calling, profiling, and all of that. And so that's how it started until it snowballed into what we saw in 1994. And so we must certainly be very, very careful when we discuss issues that has to do with unity of the country. But at the same time, we must impress it on leadership that there is no way you can you can coerce people to be united when you are doing things that everybody sees. Perception is more important than rhetorics. What do people see me do? What do people feel that I am doing? How can you say there is a united situation where somebody someday said in a national television that we cannot stop the killings. The killings cannot stop until the law on grazing, on open grazing is repealed. Somebody said that, admitting that he knows those who are doing the killing, and nothing has happened. And so situations where there is what I'm trying to say really is that if some other person in some other part of the country had said a thing, not even to that extent, had admitted that he knows why human beings are killed, why Nigerians are killed, and he cannot stop, he would have had his day with the security agents. Yeah. But nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
And so when you begin to feel situations like that and see it all over, happening in various areas, in various sectors, then there is always the problem. The kind of problem we have here, the problem that you have to coerce people to be united. And I mean, if I am feeling very, very comfortable, if I am not looking at my neighbor as being privileged, and my neighbor I am looking at as being privileged is rubbing it on my nose that I am privileged, what can you do about it? If I am not seeing that it's a different situation, I will be united. I will agree with you. And so the various pockets of agitations you are having all over wouldn't do any good to our unity. It should not be encouraged.
But the issues costing them should be addressed. Because the vice president talked of cracks in the walls anyway.
So they should not be encouraged. But it is being, not even surreptitiously, but openly encouraged, perceived to be encouraged.
By their actions.
By the action of the leadership.
Okay, it's Independence Day. As you say, we are celebrating the existence of the nation for 60 years. But we've also agreed that we've not made much progress. But let's look back. Can we look at anything at all? 1, 2, 3 things that have happened, good things that have happened to us, and then who would you say has been the best leader in this country, for example? Let's start with you, Dipo. 1 or 2 things, good things that have happened.
Before I go, let me quickly just add another perspective to what Nnnana just said. Based on the question you asked, agitation here and there. And my perspective is this. Something happened one night. I wanted to buy something at Ojudu Baker there. After buying the thing, the guy the man didn't have change. So he turned to the woman next to him, one Igbo woman. You know, when you see these guys interact, you'll be wondering, one family. He needed to give me about 250 naira change. She called the lady. I don't want to say, I don't get change. Then the other person, Yoruba, selling the same vicinity. I don't want to get change, but okay. The woman said, okay, let me give you 150. The Yoruba man said, let me give you 100 naira. That is how we live our lives. Go to Ketu market or any other market for that matter. You will be amazed at the level of interaction within these ethnic groups. You see, the problem we are having is the problem of our elites. Like I said earlier, when he has problem with his colleague, where they are sharing money, he begins to whip up sentiment of ethnicity. All the various agitations you are looking at, I have studied it. I see it as an option B, being used by the various leaders of these ethnic groups. If he has any disagreement with his people league, he now dusts up the issue of agitation. It's like a politician that belongs to a PDP or APC. At the same time, he has registered another political party called AA. He put the license inside his pocket. If he's not able to get the APC or PDP ticket, he does not the license and begins to fly it. That is what is happening in Nigeria.
Okay.
An average Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa guy doesn't have any problem. Honestly speaking. Is it the one that, let me give you an example. In our office.
We're running short of time, so.
Let me quickly say this. In our office, our gatemen, Migad, they are Malam from the north. These people will go, I belong to Nagav, Dr. Nebuna is our national chairman. These people are we want that will go and buy our food for us to eat. All of us will eat in the same plate. We are not afraid of whether they're going to put something in it. That is how Nigerians live their lives. Our problems are our leaders. They are the one that is spreading that seed of disunity. The best thing is, how do we move forward? We need programs like this to educate the masses. Don't look at your leaders. They are united at that level. Don't let them divide us. We need to unite at our level so that we can confront them. It's only when we are united we can confront them, and that is why they don't want us to be united at our level. That is the problem.
So one good thing, yes.
Ambrose, you asked a question. One good thing.
Yeah, or two.
Okay.
Since independence, yes.
Yeah. Let me talk of one. I'm talking of the one that concerns me.
Okay.
I hold my first degree is on education economics.
Okay.
Do you know what, Ambrose? I entered the university in 1978. From day one to the day I got my BSc, I was on federal government bursary all through. Federal government bursary all through. You get into school, you are taken to your hostel, your hall of residence. They give me a meal coupon for the whole semester. You have your beddings, and every week they give you toilet tissues and all of that. I'm talking of Nigeria. Yes. I had that as a Nigerian.
Wow.
I had that as a Nigerian. That's the kind of Nigeria I want us to reinvent.
There was a country.
There was a country. That's the kind of country I want us to reinvent. Also, the kind of country. Okay, you are talking about the positive. Otherwise, I would have talked about a little part of it that my granddaughter got 137. Unity common entrance. She couldn't be admitted because of where me, the grandparent, where by accident of birth I come from. But somebody from a state, Zamfara, let me be specific. It may not be proper.
It's proper. There's nothing wrong with that.
From Zamfara with five. I'm not talking of 50 or what. 5. Got admission into that school. I'm also telling you that 1976, when I had my school start, I had a friend in the north. At the end of school start, I went to Kano on holidays, and my friend Bala was already in the university. How did he do it? I asked my uncle. I was told that he didn't even wait for. He had nothing to do with Yaba or Wayek. That he with mock WASC. He went to the university's SBA, School of Basic Studies, at the university at ABU. And I asked, why didn't you tell me? Uncle should have told me. I would have wished to go through that. He said no, that it is meant for those from educationally disadvantaged state. 44 years thereafter, we are still having that. I suffered it, my children suffered it, my grandchildren are also going through that same injustice.
Okay.
And I'll clap for you if you see Nigerian unity.
Dipo, one good thing that you've seen in Nigeria so far?
Well, there are so many.
Just tell me one. He talked about his bursary, wishing that those days will come back, but they will not come back.
Yes, I remembered during the time of ECN. Then,
that's the Electricity Corporation of Nigeria.
Before NEPA.
Before NEPA, yeah.
Then, if you received your bill, because it was possible for you to calculate your bill and arrive at this is what I'm going to pay.
Okay.
It was possible. Then you received and you think there is some discrepancies. You go to ECN office at Imo and Abeokuta. You will sit down with the guy. They will do the calculation and they effect the correction.
Yeah.
But now, even with computer, you will be asked to write a letter.
Yes.
To the business manager. You will give it to Nnnana. And it will take Nnnana about 2 weeks to pass it to Ambrose on the same table. Yeah. So those are the things we need to bring back to Nigeria.
Who would you say is your best leader so far in this country, looking at what they did or what they didn't do?
My best leader, ironically, is the first Buhari, not the President Buhari.
Okay, the first Buhari.
The first Buhari.
In military uniform.
Yes.
Okay,
that short spell.
Okay. Dipo.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. It's like, I don't know, there's something that joins myself and because in 64 we entered secondary school. He finished in 76, I finished secondary school in 76.
Wow.
Yes, interestingly, when you look at that era of...
Is that also your best?
Of course. Because of there was urgency in governance. And there's something they call, and that spirit is still there today. If you get to Ishaga, now, I don't know if they are still doing it under the
I think he was younger. That's the difference. Yes. You can see the pictures there. I don't know if they are still doing it under the bridge of Ojuelegba. Yes.
You know, when you get into a place, either a bank or even a park, naturally you join the queue.
Yes.
Naturally, nobody will tell you, because if you want to jump the queue, you will look at like the odd man out.
Oh, yes.
I know that about 3 years ago I was at Ishaga. They were still doing it. I was impressed.
Yes, and even the Jack on the day, you see people line up for Keke Marwa.
Even if you will not want to jump the queue, because you will see people. So I think there's the need for us to bring that back era.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well, we hope we can. We hope we can. But at 60, we should be retiring. Actually, the country should even be relaxing and enjoying the goodness of the nation. That's what 60 means. 60, 65, you should be reaping the fruits of your labor. But it's like Nigeria is still trying to find its feet, but we keep hope alive. Your last word, talking about the way forward. If we really want this country to remain united, what would you suggest? One sentence.
Our leaders should change their focus.
Okay.
They should not be thinking of the social class. They should be thinking of Nigeria.
Thinking of Nigeria.
He was just telling us, some of us, we enjoyed it when you were in the university. Even before you finish university, you already have about 2 or 3 letters of appointment with car, a house attached to it. So it is possible for us to bring that back to Nigeria. And what they need to do, more importantly, is to enlist the support of the youth, of an average Nigerian.
Okay.
An average Nigerian is so despotent, he doesn't feel any concern about Nigeria. I was giving an analogy on a radio program today. Let us assume that there is an announcement that the president is going to give the usual nationwide address by 7 o'clock. And then, by coincidence, UEFA has put Manchester, Liverpool at 7 o'clock. The tendency is that more Nigerian youths would rather watch the football
match
than
listen to the president.
So there's the need for Nigerian leaders to create that connect between the youths and their country.
Okay.
Honestly.
Nnnana.
My last line on this matter, really, I wouldn't join the bandwagon of blaming our leadership, the followership also. Ambrose, it took only a single person to trigger off the Arab Spring. He said, no, I can't have this anymore. I'm done. He doused himself with fuel and set himself ablaze. The masses took it up from that point. We are absolutely docile here. The followership in Nigeria is up. I mean, nobody calls to question what our leadership does. So I'm talking of followership.
Followership. Yeah. We need a more active followership. People who will ask questions and ask, why is this happening to us? I think that's the way forward. For our government, I can say, serve the people. When we say serve the people, it means yourself will be behind. Think of the people first, and we'll do the right thing. We hope we will celebrate another independence anniversary. That's our prayer. Amen. We also expect changes, something we can look back to and say, oh, between 60 and 61, 62, something has happened that is good to us. The Itakpe-Warri rail was commissioned 33 years after it started, after it was launched. That's progress, because it has been removed from the list of abandoned projects. I also remember Fayemi in Ekiti launching a project that was launched by Shehu Shagari 40-something years ago. Call it progress, call it what you want, let us call it hope. Hope for tomorrow for Nigeria. Dipo, Olayokun, thank you for coming.
It's always a pleasure.
Nnnana, to thank you for coming.
The pleasure is mine.
Remember, you do not cross a river by staring at the sea. You've got to enter the boat. Thank you again for your company. Happy Independence Anniversary. Let's not lose hope. Brighten up the face with some smiles. And if you see someone without any on this Independence Day, give him one of yours. Bye-bye now.